Hey YouTube, this is Wrestling Support Fan 62. This is NXT Stand and Deliver predictions for 2025. Now, this if you don't know what Stand and Deliver is, it is NXT, the developmental system, annual big pay-per-view for WrestleMania weekend. Before the pandemic happened, they used to have takeovers. Well, once the pandemic hit, they stopped doing it. And I think starting in 2021, they started doing Stand and Deliver. So let's get started. For the NXT title, you have Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. Now, all three of these men are very good athletes for what they are. But it is going to be interesting for a multitude of reasons. Because the biggest thing you have in this as well is that new dark side, something like that. So you're not entirely sure if they're going to become a factor in this or not. Then you have Obafemi, who has been a dominant champion since he won the title. And then you have Trick Williams, who is displaying a heel-type character, even though I think he's still technically a babyface at this point. So, and then you have Javon Evans, who has, again, like Trick, you know, he's still a face, but he's displaying heel activity. I do think in this, Oba is going to retain for now. The next one is for the NXT Women's Championship. You have Stephnie Vakor versus Julia versus Jaida Parker versus Jordyn Grace. Okay, with this is going to go one of two ways. Julia just came back from her small hiatus after I think it was like 25 days or something like that. So, and she is a heel now, apparently. Then you have Jordyn Grace and Jaida Parker, who have been almost battling each other for the last couple of weeks to have a chance versus Stephnie or the next one I'm going to talk about. So, I think one of two things will happen. I think either Julia will win or Stephnie will retain. If I had to guess as of now, I do think Julia will win and become the new two-time women's champion. For the North American NXT Women's North American title, you have Zaria versus Kalani Jordyn versus Izzy Dame versus Sol Ruka versus To Be Decided. There's actually, I think, 2 more of these matches on NXT this coming week that will fill out those spots. Now, with this is going to be a very interesting match because outside of Sol Ruka, who is more into the flips, same with Kalani Jordyn, Izzy, with her being part of the heel stable with Shawn Spears and them, and then Zaria, who's more into the, you know, beating the crap out of you, versus whoever else they decide. that is going to become a big factor. And the reason for this match was because on April 1st, Stephnie Vakor relinquished the NXT North American title, as she was the NXT champ and the North American champ. So we have to see how that plays out. Depending on who else they decide, I do think we're probably going to either see Zaria or possibly whoever else they decide. For the NXT North American title, for the men, you have Ricky Saints going against either Ethan Page, Eddie Thorpe, Lexis King, or Wes Lee. How they're going to decide that, I'm not entirely sure. My guess is they're going to have like a fatal four-way on NXT to decide who's going to go up versus Ricky Saints. If I had to guess at this point, it's going to be either Ethan Page or Wes Lee. And then from there, if I had to guess, I still think Ricky Saints will retain. And then for the tag team titles, you have Fraxiom versus to be decided. I will put down below, first of all, who the other two women, or it's either one or two women, for the North American, as well as who Ricky Saints will go up against versus for the tag titles. Now there was talks of doing some sort of women's tag team thing. I'm not entirely sure where that stands at this point. As Ava mentioned it at the end of NXT last week. So that is going to be the interesting thing, is how they're going to do that. Because in there you have Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, and some other women in there as well. So, like I said, I will put who the others are down below.